Hello everyone, my name is Lauren and welcome to another video from the Tiny Menagerie. The golden wonder Panchax is certainly an eye-catching species, with possibly the only, or at least an extremely rare, genuine metallic golden colour. Most fish described as gold unfortunately tend to be rather more yellow or at worst orange, but these guys are certainly and undeniably gold. Or at least the males are. The females are perhaps more of a brassy alloy. Golden Panchax though are fairly easy to come by in the hobby compared to other killifish, and they're really not that expensive when you consider how much of a showstopper they are. But what do they like to keep, and what kind of setup do they need? Well, golden wonders are in fact a human-bred variant of the striped Panchax, which inhabits slow-moving water throughout India and Sri Lanka. There they spend their time hunting up at the water surface, waiting for hapless insects and mosquitoes to fall in, where they're going to be quickly gobbled up. And this is something you need to bear in mind when looking to purchase some of these lovely little fish. They will spend the vast majority of their time right up at the surface of the water, only very occasionally making use of the rest of the tank. Now, this being the case, you will need to provide them with as much surface area as you possibly can. The volume of the tank doesn't matter at all, they couldn't care less whether it is shallow or deep water, just so long as you aim for roughly 80 by 30 cm surface area for a pair or trio. They can be kept in larger groups, just bear in mind the fact that males can be rather feisty, both with each other and with the females as well. So while they need the surface area for hunting, they do also need somewhere to hide away from each other from time to time as well. This can be decorations, live plants, it doesn't really matter so long as they can break line of sight. And if they can't get away from each other, then the females in particular will start to look rather beaten up, a sure sign you need to change up the tank a little bit and add some more obstacles, as I say, just to break that line of sight. If they can't see each other, then they won't attack each other. And you will want to keep at least a pair, as the males, who've got that lovely deep golden hue, will only display their finest colours when they have someone to show off too. Kept as individuals, they tend to be much duller, and so you will need to have at least as many females as you have males. And that's not such a bad thing, because the females are really attractive by themselves as well. They have a very appealing silver base colour with spangles of yellow and blue, and if they didn't have the male to compare them to, then they would be a real standout fish by themselves. When they are very stressed, both males and females can display a dark band that runs down their flanks as they try to blend in more with their surroundings, but for the most part these are very confident and brave fish who spend most of their time out in the open, centre stage, even if there's only the two of them in the tank. They are also proper little beggars, and as soon as they learn to recognise you, they will be weaving around at the front of the tank trying to get your attention, in the hope that that's going to come with some food for them as well. Golden Panchax are a true tropical species, and they will need to be kept between 22 and 28 degrees. And if you're looking to breed them, then you'll want to keep the water pH a little bit lower, around 5.5 to 7, but if not, then they are perfectly happy with anything up to 8. Meaning they can be kept with a wide variety of other fish. Or at least, they could if not for one rather glaring issue. And that is that golden Panchax are very predatory. I would argue they would rather eat another fish compared to pretty much anything else, and I have underestimated mine time and time again now as to what they will and won't eat. Males in particular can be really difficult to gauge because while they only grow to about 10 centimeters in length, which really isn't very much, they do have a hugely wide mouth that is able to eat their way through pretty much all of the smaller fish. In fact, anything smaller than an adult neon tetra will be on the menu. Mine in the past have eaten their way through celestial pearl danios and young harlequin rasboras. I wouldn't even put it past them to eat a coolie loach, because while they are very long, they are very slim. Bit like spaghetti, I suppose. Basically, any tank mates need to be at least 1 inch in length and wider than the male killie's head. But when you are not accidentally providing them with swimming snacks, these killies are very easy to feed, although they do tend to prefer food that stays on the surface of the water, and they are certainly not going to go hunting on the substrate for anything. Basically, unless they see it sinking or it's on the surface, they're not going to find it. And changing to new food can take a couple of attempts as well, as they're not the most ready takers of something they don't recognise. When they do though, golden panchax are greedy and voracious eaters, snapping up huge mouthfuls of flakes or frozen food. In fact, this being the case, do make sure any frozen food that you give them is fully defrosted, as they will happily just gulp down a huge lump of frozen food, which no doubt won't do them very much good. For the most part though, golden panchax are a very chill fish. All the killing might make them sound like an active breed, but day to day they are rather more like tigers compared to wolves, preferring to lurk around and creep up on victims rather than chase them down. And of course, if they don't have anything to hunt, then they are simply a very peaceful, happy little fish sculling around at the surface of the water, forever waiting for something to come along. Golden panchax are relatively safe to keep with large shrimp such as amano, and even adult neocaridina, as they show no interest at all in hunting around foliage or decorations, although they will of course snap up any young shrimp that swim towards the surface. So best not to keep them with your finest caridinas. And of course they shouldn't be kept with anything you're planning on breeding, including guppies or platies, as panchax certainly don't mind weaving in and around dense foliage at the surface of the tank if it means they can find a fishy snack. So though, if you are looking for a murderous golden surface hugger for your aquarium, then the golden panchax is likely just the fish for you. And in all honesty, who wouldn't like one of those? Anywho though, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. Happy fish keeping everyone, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye!